And welcome into the Rob and Kale Show. I'm Rob Sanders. I want you guys are all having a great evening as we roll along here, heading into the summer. Memorial Day is right around the corner, and baseball season continues for some. Not for my podcast co-host though; he's ready to move right into football season. Mr. Carolina Jackpot, Kale Hall. Kale, what's up, buddy?
Oh, what's going on, Rob? We're a little early tonight.
Yeah, I screwed up, sir. That's my fault. I for some reason I used to be able to put the whole clip video in there with the countdown part of it, but when I went to put it in there, it wouldn't let me adjust how much time it was. It was silly, so I got to figure that out. But yeah,
Well, what a piece of shit.
He's already cussing me. We just started the show. That's funny.
Stick around for a while. Stick around.
Well, yeah. Look, I friend of the program, Mr. Jordan Dealmaker, made a video about me that I have not watched yet. Apparently, he was upset about what I said about your offensive coordinator.
He wasn't upset at all.
Oh, okay.
He was making out he made a video educating all of us on that subject. He's supposed to be coming on the show tonight. We'll see. He said he was.
So I actually did some research, Jackpot.
I don't know. He's got young kids and stuff. He might not be able to get on. Maybe he will. Anyway, research. What are you doing? A book report?
Well, I mean, we could do a book report, but I did basically a book report on Mr. Shula, your offensive coordinator.
Okay.
And I think that there's some things in there that when it comes to light, people are going to be like, maybe we should just wait and see on this guy a little bit. There you go. The link to join is right there in the section there. We can talk about that if you want to, Jack. I think it's interesting. But I mean, obviously, what it comes back down to is this. We don't really have a good sample size for this guy yet. But to have the idea that he's going to just turn Lenore Sellers into Cam Newton, which is what I hear from some Gamecock fans, is ludicrous. I mean, at best. First of all, it's not shitting on Sellers to say that, but to say that you could turn this guy's just the magic wand here and he's going to turn anyone into the number one pick in the NFL draft is a stretch. Now, could he do it? Maybe, but to sit here and bank your whole season on that's what's going to happen.
Well, I don't think anybody's saying that. If they are, it's kind of crazy. Cam Newton played 4 years. He was the number one overall pick, wasn't he? Or was he? He won the Heisman Trophy, I know.
Heisman Trophy, number one overall pick in the draft.
Okay, he was all that.
He was all that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd settle for.
Let me just say this. I think that this young fella Sellers is probably one of the best playmakers the Gamecocks have had at quarterback. I mean, you got to put him up there in the Spencer Rattler era as far as he can make plays. Same thing goes for Connor Shaw. He's up there in that kind of air, in my opinion. So people think I'm missing on Sellers, and I'm not. I think he's an absolutely great player. So let's make sure I get that out there into the world so people can hear that. So
he's got too many good weapons on the outside. He's got too many good young guys out there to not they owe it to him to develop him as a passer, not to turn him into a passing quarterback, but to develop his passing game to get him to the next level. Right now, he's not ready for it. Just not.
That's all I've said. And people have been pissy with me about it, but I did some research on your offensive coordinator. Welcome, Jordan, to the show. Jordan, what's up, sir?
Hello, gentlemen. How are y'all?
Good.
Friend?
I forgot to say it. Better than I deserve.
Well, aren't we all better? We on the right side of the dirt.
Yep.
All right, what you got for the show there, Jordan?
Kel asked me to join in, and I was just wanting to. I heard what you said, your homework and your research, and I don't think anybody is thinking that Mike Shula is going to wave a wand and make Lenoris the number one overall pick. That's not what I'm saying. I think he's a number one, not a number one, but a first round pick, just the way he stands now. But he's a young man that needs developing, and everybody that has two working brain cells about football can see he's got happy feet. He's got a horrible offensive line, and he kept us in a lot of games that he wasn't injured in just for that reason. So,
Do you
think
this is a real question? The stuff that I'm saying right now is I'm not going to be trolling with any of it.
Okay,
Don't
go ahead.
It's in his best interest to not have as many carries as he did in some games last season, just for his overall health.
Oh! I agree 100%.
Okay,
I agree 100%, and that's what Mike Shula is doing. He's not taking away him being a dual threat, because that is a threat. We all agree with that.
right.
But he needs to run when it's designed to run, or something breaks down, i.e., fix the offensive line, which is what they're doing. Recruiting shows that. Transfer portal shows that. So he doesn't have to do it.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, I think that my thing with Shula is that I think that I think his time in the NFL ran out, and he came back to college, which that's just my opinion. They were in Jackpot. There was an Alabama fan in Jackpot's comments section on a video he did the other day talking about, basically you could have him or something to that effect. Like the Alabama folks were very impressed with him at all.
I mean, he hasn't coached in college in 20 years. I mean,
that's the thing. College is completely different than the pros. That's the other aspect that I think a lot of Gamecock fans need to understand. He's getting back into the college game, and it's different than the pros.
Yeah, well, last year he's been there for a year. Last year should have been enough to acclimate him to that.
Well, I agree with that. And Rob, I
mean, one full season should be enough to get you back up on the bicycle, in my opinion.
I agree with that, Jackpot. And Rob, I can argue with you about what you're saying about the NFL. I don't know.
You're expecting him to be right, is what you're saying, Jackpot.
What's that?
You're expecting him to be right, is what you think that last season, what you said, he should be acclimated enough to come in, take over the offense, and go. That's
he should be. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, I mean, I just compared it to riding a bike. I mean, you don't forget how to ride a bicycle. You just don't do it for a while, and it gets hard. But, a year of riding a bicycle around, you should be pretty good at it.
I looked up some stuff on Shula. Just let me share a couple little notes here on him. When he was just from his time in the NFL with the Jaguars, he was their quarterbacks coach in 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. David Garrard was the quarterback there. Garrard did go to 2 Pro Bowls under him. But he also had Fred Taylor there as a running back who also was a Pro Bowler. So he was able to – he had some things on offense to make it better. But here's the thing. His season, they were 8th in total offense. Second season, they dropped to 20th. Third season dropped – they moved up to 18th. Fourth season, the last he was there, Garrard made the Pro Bowl. Also, Mercedes Lewis, the tight end, made the Pro Bowl. And they finished 15th in total offense before he went to be the Panthers quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, etc. But here's the crazy thing. His first year as an offensive coordinator, they finished 26th in the NFL in total offense. Cam Newton threw for 3,300 yards, ran for 585 yards on 111 carries, 24 touchdowns through the air, 6 on the ground, and threw 13 picks. That's a hell of a season for a quarterback, in my opinion.
I think you just described the point I was trying to make.
Except for the 13 picks.
Well, the 13 picks, but the point is the guy was responsible for right at almost 4,000 yards of offense.
What year was that?
Downs. That would be in 2013.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think you put the cherry on top of the ice cream, in my opinion.
For what do you mean by that, sir?
Just the stats you read off about Cam Newton. I mean, he limited the amount of runs. 500 yards is still a lot for a damn quarterback. Don't get me wrong. That's a lot of damn yards.
No, sir. Respectfully, he carried 111 times. So he was in a 16-game schedule that he averaged right about 8 to 10 carries, something like that. No, about 8 carries.
But that's respectable, right?
Right. But here's the crazy thing, though. In 2014, they were 16th in total offense. 2015, that's the year they went to the Super Bowl. They finished 15-1. Their defense gave up on average about 25 points a game. So it was kind of a weird year because they finished outside the top 10 in offense. But that was Newton's best year. 38.
Sound like they played a lot of close games.
They did.
They did. I remember that year. They did.
Yeah.
3,800 yards on the through the air, 35 touchdowns, and 10 picks. I don't know why I didn't put the rushing numbers there, but when you go through it, a lot of it looks like if he has a good running game to complement his quarterback, his offenses are better. And it shows when he goes to the Giants and they were the shits. He had Eli Manning and the start of the Daniel Jones era. They went 18, 23rd, 22nd, 21st when he was in Denver with Bridgewater and Locke. And it just went down from there. So overall, as a coordinator / quarterback coach, the offenses that he had averaged out to 17th best in the NFL, which is average.
That's middle of the pack.
Right out middle of the pack. But a lot of it kind of steeps a little bit after he got away from having Gerard and Taylor because they were a good 1-2 combination as far as, quarterback and running back. They ran the piss out of Taylor down there. Also, when you look at with the Panthers, it was just all for them and did everything. So I brought that up because, as Jackpot said, he hasn't coached in the league in like 20 years, or outside of the league in like 20 years. And maybe Jackpot's right. Maybe that 1 year he can come in and do his thing. I just think that from what we saw in the bowl game, that's a small sample size. Maybe Sellers wasn't quite picking up yet. Maybe he wants to shield him from running just oh, fuck, my first read is blitzed. I got to take off. Maybe he doesn't want him to do that. Maybe he drilled that to him.
I plumb asked him, Rob. I mean, straight in his eyes, I said, let me ask you a question. I said, now, we're sitting right here. We're having champagne, cold beer, and nice food, hors d'oeuvres, the whole 9 yards, all dressed suit and black ties. I said, was that you calling the plays in the bowl game? He said, absolutely. I said, is that what we're going to look forward to this coming up year? He said, nope. He said, I had a redshirt freshman quarterback, and I went back to what he was comfortable doing, and that's what I went with.
I think if that's the case, then y'all are in for a world of shit. Because Sellers had games where he looked a hell of a lot more comfortable than he did against Illinois. Maybe Illinois is just good. I don't know.
Well, I'm just telling you what the man said. Now, I can only take a man at his word, okay?
Fireball over in the comment section said Nico had 19 touchdowns and 5 interceptions and a running team. Sellers was worse, and y'all kiss his ass. I don't like Nico either, but come on, man. Worse at what? Because Sellers had a higher QBR than Nico. Go to ESPN or CBS and look it up.
Now, listen. Now, I want to say something real quick, Rob, just so you know. Now, y'all debating back and forth, being Clemson fan and Gamecock fans, and I love it. That's what makes this show so great, and I love it. Y'all know that. Y'all are friends of mine. But I'm not sitting here saying that Sellers, or the offensive coordinator, is the best in the business, okay? That's not what I'm saying. I'll be honest, Jackpot's not going to like what I'm about to say. I think Cade Klubnik right now, as today sits, is a better quarterback than Lenore Sellers. But I think Mike Shula is going to develop Lenore Sellers into be a great dual threat quarterback. That's what I believe.
Maybe in the throw game.
Yeah.
Which a quarterback that's what you should be doing. But he probably has better weapons.
He has a whole lot better weapons.
He was terrible in 2023. I don't know what happened between 23 and 24, but he looked a lot better.
He went down to Miami and was fucking brain dead, was told to give the ball to Maffa, who's running the ball up the middle 6 yards of carry on the 1. And he goes, no, I'm just going to call my own fucking number and run into the end zone. And he got stopped.
Yeah, that was plumb ignorant. That's what I call plumb dumb.
That's galactico stupid.
Yeah.
Is he more cerebral than Sellers? I don't know. Maybe. Is he better in the throw game? Definitely. Sellers more athletic? Absolutely.
When we interviewed him at ACC kickoff last year, I mean, he was he talked like a quarterback is supposed to talk.
Klubnik's pretty athletic too. I mean, he can make some plays with his feet. He made a play last year against Pitt. He avoided a sack. I remember he made a really nice play there. He made a good play against Virginia Tech too, where he got some yards where it looked like he was out of it. So, I'm not saying he's like that. He's more athletic to me than Trevor Lawrence was.
Well, I would agree with you there, Jackpot. But listen, I don't want people to get misconstrued about what I'm trying to say. Do I think we're going to go out and win 12 games? Hell no. I'm realistic. No, I don't. But I honestly believe, I even said it in my video, Jackpot's 50% right. Yes, our defense is going to give up 7 more points. But I think our offense is going to take a step forward while our defense is rebuilding and score 14 more points than average of last year. That's my beliefs.
Cool. Right to your opinion. We'll see, man. I think that this team's going to be completely different from last year's team.
I agree with that too.
I think that for them to get back to that 9-3 level that people are talking about, that offense has to take major steps forward, in my opinion, because as of right now, I just don't think you have what you had on defense. And
those are
playing on Sunday next year. And, maybe these other guys, maybe they'll get coached up and they'll be great. I don't know. But as far as what I do know, that's what those guys are playing in the NFL. They're not playing for you next year.
Well, I can't disagree with you. All I can say is that if you look at the recruiting, look at the young talent on the offensive line, which on offense, everybody can talk about receiver. Hey, that is a question mark. But the offensive line was our biggest issue. That's my opinion. That's the way I look at football. That was our biggest issue. And Lenore Sellers, with the size and speed that he has, kept us in a lot of games.
But if you look at it too, though, Jordan, on that offensive line, they gave up a ton of sacks.
That's what I'm saying.
First half of the season, but they improved a lot the second half of the season.
They did better.
They gave up. There was 0 sacks given up against A&M, and I think 0 sacks given up against Mizzou. I think they gave up like 2 against Clemson.
But you know what, Jackpot? And listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. How many quarterback hurries was there that Lenore's just out of pure talent got out of sacks?
Oh, there was a lot, and the Texas A&M game, the game plan there was I don't know what that was a crazy game plan where they left. If you remember, that's the one they left that blitzing linebacker come on a ton of plays where they just didn't even pick him up.
Yes,
they let Sellers rely on. They relied on Sellers just making that dude miss.
Yes, I remember it precisely. Yes.
And I was like, damn, this is crazy.
Yeah,
it could be disastrous, you know?
Yeah, I was cussing the TV. I'm with you.
But, he was making that play. He was making that guy miss. So,
Anyway, fellas, I got to do some homework. Got final exams for my children, but thank y'all for having me on. And
Good. I hope everybody gets A's.
yep, my daughter got inducted to the Beta Club Tuesday morning, so she's good there. But little man, he's hard headed. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
All right. I love the show, guys. Talk to y'all later.
All right, brother, man. We'll see you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
So, yeah. So I just wanted to look up the stuff on Shula and see what he got, and from his numbers were average in the NFL. 17th is what it averaged out to. Never finished higher than 8th in total offense.
So Cam Newton and David Gerard were the two best quarterbacks that he coached.
He coached Newton and Gerard, and people forgot about Gerard, but he made 2 Pro Bowls under his tutelage. So
David Gerard, former East Carolina Pirate.
David Gerard also lit your ass up in a game, if you remember that, sir.
Which one?
When they came down here and won, Gerard lit you up, if I remember correctly. I think in the rain, he was in the rain game, if I remember, where it was like raining like hell. I think he was the guy that was out there throwing the ball around.
I think you're thinking of Marcus Crandall.
Maybe
it was David Gerard. I don't remember. It might have been both of them.
I know that I was at the game where it was like a fucking monsoon there, and East Carolina ended up winning that game. We gotta look that up.
Uncle Lou up there, I can't find it, but way up in the comments section says that he's confirmed it today because he saw it on Twitter that Miami is back. Yeah. Aren't they at the top of your we're back rankings? Thought they were. The we're back rankings consist of Miami, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Nebraska, Florida, Auburn. Yeah. Do you know what the we're back rankings are?
Yeah, we're back every. I get it. I've watched.
Notre Dame was number 1 in the we're back rankings last year for most of the season. They got off of it because they won a playoff game. So.
What's going on, y'all?
Hello.
Oh my God, I can actually hear you.
I just want to say this for the record. South Carolina sucks for the record, but anyway, Rob Saunders, man, I met your team the other day.
Wait, sir. Respectfully, what record are we? This isn't a courtroom.
Sir, respectfully, sir. South Carolina is ass, sir. I just want to let you know.
Okay. Their baseball team is ass.
No, we whooped their ass yesterday in baseball. Trash ass baseball team. But anyway, anywho.
Much. That's like
the nerd in high school that gets beat up by everybody. You were just the last one to beat us up.
But anyway, Tennessee doesn't have a quarterback. Who is Tennessee's quarterback?
Octavian, hold on, sir. The Gamecocks finished 28-29 on the year. They're already confirming that old man is coming back, and he's already confirmed we're not making any changes on the staff. So, ta-da! That baseball program it's like. It is official.
That might well just cancel baseball. Just cancel baseball. That's all I need.
Oh Lord! Now we sound like an AM radio. Are you talking to a 8-track?
Anyway, go Gators and fuck South Carolina.
All right, Octavian. I
think he mercifully cut it short. Yeah, we'll talk about them a little bit, but
yeah, look,
here's what I would implore all the Gamecock fans to do, and I know they're not going to do it because there are too many of them who are just hard-headed and have been going down there forever. I would not pick up my option on the season's tickets. I wouldn't fucking go. I'm not fucking going for damn sure, which I hadn't gone in years anyway, so it doesn't matter. I would implore all the Gamecock faithful to stay away from Founders Park next year. Don't go. I don't know what you can do to convince these people. But, hitting them in the pocket is where it's going to hurt.
Well, in fairness, though, you're right. But let's just say
Make that motherfucking stadium look like the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium did for the majority of the mid-1980s. Remember, there would be like 3,000 people there for a midsummer game against the Pirates when both of them were in last place.
Yeah,
hell, I think sometimes I don't even think there was 1,000 people there.
Chief Nakahoma sitting up there in his teepee. He looks out and there's thousands.
Chief Nakahoma looked like he was standing out in the middle of a wheat field somewhere, empty, no people around.
Yeah, not necessarily a wheat field. It looked like a plastic factory. He was looking out over at all those seats.
Yeah, look.
What a mess.
Look behind me what's going on. The wife has come to snatch the pug. It's a pug snatcher and a Shih Tzu snatcher.
Yeah, she's a pug snatcher. That's not nice. All right, well, that was my big thing that I had tonight. I wanted to go over the Shula numbers, and I wanted to, we can dive into the baseball program for a minute, but I just, once again, I have no clue how South Carolina could have been where they were and the players that they had that rolled through there. I mean,
okay, from what I understand, now I'm not reading this anywhere on a Gamecock message boards anywhere, so it's not being reported. But from what I understand, one of the kids hit the transfer portal yesterday as soon as they lost.
Yeah.
But it's not here anywhere. And I can't remember what his name was, but I heard today, I was talking to someone that knows a little bit about that program and actually knows one of the players. Apparently what you see from Maneri when he's getting interviewed by the media and what you're seeing from him is a smokescreen. Apparently he's a pure asshole to the players, which there's nothing wrong with hard coaching, right? But, I guess there's also a line between, hey, and this goes back to like last fall. Goes back to before, the season started. So it wasn't like they started losing games and he turned into an ass. He was just an ass, like during fall practice. And this Rooney character that he brought with him from LSU is terrible, from what I'm understanding. So I don't.
Well, and once again, look, when Frank Martin took the team to the Final Four, everybody's like, man, that good hard coaching works. Look at this shit. He's losing his shit on the stands, but they're winning. And then, 2 seasons later, you got people on the stands bitching about him dropping F-bombs. That's
I would love it. I was at the I remember being over at the Bilo Center back in 2015. Was it? Well, I guess this was the season before that. So, but anyway, same thing. When they played Clemson there, when Clemson was getting Porta John renovated, when they played all their games here in Greenville, the home games that season, and we played there, and I was sitting with Jackpot Jr. and his friend, and we had seats. I mean, we were way up. I mean, we were up near the roof. But right as when they called a timeout, I mean, you could hear him yell at a couple of our players. And dude, I mean, their bench was on the opposite end of the court from where our seat was here, and it was closer to the Clemson bench. And all the way up there, you could hear his ass getting in somebody's shit. It was that damn audible. He has a voice that booms and just carries. Like, I've never heard anything like that before. I'm like, was that Frank? I'm like, holy shit.
I don't I think that coaches should get in players' asses a little bit. I don't think that anybody and their brother knows everything right off the rip, especially at 20 or 19 or whatever. You should have somebody that's like, look, I'm going to care about you, but God damn it, we're going to do it right. And I don't know, man. There's such a thin line, and I think his thing about kids are different. He said kids aren't different. Remember the whole speech he had that everybody loved? The kids aren't different. The way that we're treating them is different. Well, but now we've gotten to a point where a lot of these motherfuckers are just softer than anything, and they have the idea of, look, I came here, but if I don't like it 6 months from now, fuck you, I can leave. So
Daniel Gregory over in the comment section says, sorry, that's the wrong one. Was it him? Yeah. Says, Chris Kanipi, you know better. LOL. Beamer has yet to field a better team than Tennessee. LOL. Literally better than you every single year under Heupel. Okay, first off, well, there's a little metric that we use to measure that called games. And in 2022, he wore your ass for a hat. That notwithstanding, last year, Carolina finishes the regular season 9-3. Tennessee finishes at 10-2. You can make all the arguments you want to. South Carolina was robbed in the LSU game. I'm going to make that argument. Also, South Carolina didn't lose any of those games to teams that they weren't supposed to lose to. They were underdogs in all those games. Tennessee, however, was a double-digit favorite on the road against Arkansas, and then they shit the bed there too. And then go to their playoff game and summarily take a huge pounding, the worst loss in the playoffs. So, I mean, better, maybe one game we could marginally say, but
Daniel,
love.
What's up?
What's going on?
No,
bro?
I was just speaking to Chris Knopp. He thinks Tennessee's terrible. But with that logic, Jack
They're not
said,
terrible. I mean,
no, I'm not you. Not you.
I think they're going to take a step back this year, and to me, it's not. It doesn't have anything to do with, well, the quarterback thing maybe a little bit, but I think not having all those studs on defense and no Dylan Sampson is going to be, it's going to be
Right.
a little bit.
Well, before I respond to that, I was actually talking to Chris Knopp, not you, about saying them being terrible.
Okay.
He was saying Tennessee is going to go 6-6. I will bet anybody right now that does not happen. But
Let me ask you maybe you know the answer to this one. Maybe it's something I don't. And I don't know what kind of measurables he had or tangibles. Why did Dylan Sampson go so low in the draft?
that's a good question. I'm not sure. Maybe because
He's small. I mean, is he not? What I don't get it.
he is kind of a smaller back, and honestly, he doesn't have breakaway speed.
Right.
He's
He
just a solid running back.
wasn't, his 40
He
time
did a
was
lot of just pounding in between the
Yeah,
top.
yeah, yeah. He's a pretty balanced back, but yeah, he don't have any like huge breakaway speed. Maybe
Honestly,
that.
being honest, there's no offense either. Last year, Tennessee's offense was kind of boring to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
But it was effective,
Well, I mean, honestly, I think Heupel
You
knew.
look up in the games in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Heupel knew he had a defense that would keep him in every game, and he played not. He didn't want Nico to make the mistake to beat him. That's really what it comes down to.
Because I remember I tried to watch that Kentucky game. I'm like, God damn, this is like watching paint dry.
Yeah, it was terrible because Kentucky was fucking god awful.
Look all this. Let me turn it to Iowa State. Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, but the whole Dylan Sampson, yes, will it hurt him leaving? Yes, in a way, but every year under Heupel, Tennessee has rushed for 2,500 yards. So, yes, does it hurt him leaving? Yes, but also Tennessee is going to run the ball. I don't care who they have back there. It's the offense, they're going to run the ball.
But in fairness, every year that Heupel has had, the offense has gotten worse. If you look at UCF, on fire, and then they slowly went down. It's the same way at Tennessee too. I mean, that's just the numbers. That's what they are.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do also with, like, especially now is do you have a quarterback that you trust that can make all the throws that you need to make? And he had it with Hendon Hooker. He obviously hasn't had it with Nico. And I think the Aguilar dude's going to be a better thrower of the ball. Now, who he throws the ball to, if he throws the ball to the other team, it's not going to be good. But
I'm sorry.
Well, I usually remember when Hooker was there, Tennessee throwing some more slants and higher percentage throws.
Right, but who can come to the line and make the decision quickly?
yeah,
So maybe he'll be better with making throws like that than at App State. It seemed like he was going with the longer throws.
I mean, at App State, he also had his second year at App State. If you look at his,
he might have had a shitty O line too. I mean, I don't know.
His first year at App State, you talk about quarterback rating. Him and Lenore Sellers have identical quarterback ratings. His first year at App State, and then he lost his OC. His head coach got replaced. His head coach was an offensive line coach who had never been a head coach. His OC was an OC who had never called plays before, and I think that has a lot to do with it. I mean, I don't know. We'll see if he comes out and Heupel's done something similar. He brought Brandon Wimbush at UCF with Dylan Gabriel sitting in the wings, gave Brandon Wimbush the first game, realized he wasn't picking up the offense. Dylan Gabriel took over, and the rest is history. So, I mean, he's got two blue chip quarterbacks on the roster behind Joey Aguilar.
Maybe you know the answer to this. Why did Dylan Sampson go so low in the draft?
I think it's got a lot to do maybe with the system he came out of. It's pretty spread out. I mean, all our running backs put up numbers. I mean, our backup running backs were both 6.5 yards a carry type guys, 6 yards a carry guys. Jalen Wright was a 1,000-yard rusher. He had like 30 career touchdowns while he was at Tennessee. He went third or fourth round too. I mean, he ran just as fast as Dylan at the combine.
I think Jalen Wright actually was a faster player than Sampson. He had breakaway speed.
But I think you're just going to see it, and it kind of happened to him at Oklahoma too. I mean, he had Samaj Pirine, and I mean that dude was breaking records, and then you're like, whatever happened to him? But I mean, that last year,
there's a name I forgot about.
I think it's just the system. I think people are so worried about being spread out that it kind of pulls the linebackers away from the middle of the field, and it gives you an opportunity. If you can get O linemen that get you holes, you're going to get 4, 5, 6 yards of carry. But I think the running game will be fine. I don't think you're going to have a Dylan Sampson, but I think you'll have a running back by committee.
Yeah, you're going to have Tennessee will have 3 running backs that play this year, for sure.
I made 6-pack bets with Billy Cole and I think Dr. Vol, and with Nico at quarterback. And the bet was they finish in the top 5 in passing yards. They have a better chance now with Nico somewhere else.
Nico, my thing and a lot of the stuff, I kind of saw this when he was being recruited. You kind of when it's your guy, you want to. But I was getting really frustrated, and I talked on the message boards about Nico had 2 top 100. One was a wide receiver cornerback combo. He ended up going to Oregon, and then the other one ended up going to Cal. They're both top 100 guys on his own team at Warren, and he wasn't even trying to recruit them. Francis Maui-Go was a fellow Polynesian kid, and it was Tennessee
and Miami
in the final 2. Yeah. And Nico wasn't tweeting this kid, and I really think
he probably didn't want him to come to Tennessee because he was probably afraid they'd get some of the NIL money that he thought.
I think that's exactly what it was. I think his dad was telling him, and the crazy thing is
he's damn greedy. We can already tell that.
Yeah.
Well, you've got people, and I don't think it's so much Nico as it was his dad. I think Nico is very much just his dad's vessel. I think he need one day he's going to have to stand up to him, but he's got a little bit of Todd Maranovich in him. Is that kid's name? The famous quarterback that his dad basically ruined his life because he controlled every move he made.
Yeah, that's Nico right now.
But everybody that's close to the program said the 2 months before right before Nico transferred, all the way up until that last week of spring practice, he was the most laid back, chill. He was doing good. He was making it to all his meetings. He was doing really, really well because his dad was off focused on Madden shit, his little brother's stuff at Arkansas and dealing with some stuff back in Cali. And they said the moment he showed back up to Tennessee to check in on Nico and figure out, hey, are we going to get that raise or not? Nico's attitude completely changed, and he just shut back down, and he went back to how he was. Man, that dude's going to ruin his kid's life, and I feel you got to kind of feel bad for Nico. And I tweeted something right after the Kyron Lacey news came out, and I said, man, we kind of need to lay off Nico because I don't want to be seeing this headline about him because he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders, man. While he was in high school, his mom fought off breast cancer. And now his dad is sitting on him like, hey, man, you're the breadwinner. You need to be making all this money. And that's a lot of, even for a stud 5-star quarterback, that's a lot of weight on a kid's shoulders, man. A family of 8, or if you count his parents, a family of 10, and he's the breadwinner of it. I mean, it's shameful by his father, but.
Yeah.
Super chat hoghead, sir. Dylan had major fumbling issues down the pitch. Not good in the NFL's eyes.
Yeah. And I think the same thing that happened with Dylan, if you go back and look in like everybody talks about Alvin Kamara this, Alvin Kamara that. Alvin Kamara had fumbling issues in college too, and I think that's a big reason why he slipped down I think he got picked up by the Saints in the 3rd round. And I think a lot of it was his fumbling issues.
Well, I think that unless you're a world-changing running back, you're not going to get drafted in the 1st round anyway.
Yeah.
Todd Gurley was probably one of the best running backs ever.
Yeah.
And he was 29. Could not get the field past his 28th birthday. So, I mean, they draft these running backs now in 3rd round. That's where you're at.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at probably one of the best duos we've seen in the last 20 years was Sony Michel and Nick Chubb, and they both went. I think one went last pick of the 1st round and first pick of the 2nd round. I mean, that's insanity to me. Both of those dudes could have easily been top 15 picks.
Right, and you can definitely make an argument, but the NFL general managers now are like, screw it, we'll get somebody in the 3rd round.
I mean, everybody's hoping to find that next like Pacheco. Pacheco was like that dude was a 6th rounder, and he killed it at Kansas City for 3 years, and then they just threw him on the trash pile when they were done with him.
Yep, and he's not there. He's not.
Their bodies just this running back bodies just can't hold up unless you're like a Derrick Henry, and he's just a different animal.
Yeah,
and that you're running against, let's say you weigh, I don't know, 205 pounds, whatever. Let's say you weigh 250, all right, and you're running full speed, and you keep getting hit by a guy that weighs 305 at least.
Yeah,
he's laying on you every play. That shit's gonna wear you out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's and that's the argument I was making. Somebody tweeted out, "Oh, we just need." Because there's people that have questions about Ty Simpson because, he was never looked to when they were having bad times with the quarterback. He was never looked to as the answer. Nobody thought maybe this kid could be a spark. So people are
I kind of wonder about that.
And somebody said, well, all he's got to be is Jake Coker. And I'm like trying to explain to Bama fans, you don't have Derrick Henry in the backfield to cover up Jake Coker. Like, you cannot expect him to be Jake Coker and expect to go to the playoffs.
Mm-mm.
Well, I mean, I wish that I could argue with you, but that makes too much sense.
No, I'm trying to be more sensible. I'm getting up there in age.
About something, but I'd love to try to pick at that, but I really can't. So.
But no, I'm curious with Joey. I think Heupel's weird, man. He can have, which we got a 5-star committed right now, but that dude could have a 5-star. Top of the line quarterback, and you think, oh, okay, he's going to do his best with this, like a guy like Trevor Knight was supposed to be, and he shits the bed with him. But then you give him a 5'10" chip on the shoulder, nobody that was a walk on at Texas Tech, or Dylan Gabriel, who the only FBS school that offered him was them in Georgia. Surprisingly, he picked UCF, and he shows out with them. Like, that dude I feel like he does better with quarterbacks with the chips on their shoulder. It's just weird.
He does. I said that on the program a while back. He does so much better with just guys that he picks up off the wood pile at somewhere else. And he just, and there was an interview Hooker did where they asked him about the difference between the offense, etc. And he said, look, when I come to the line, I can make my decisions quick and go. I don't have to worry about, this, that, and everything else. There's basically, I think you said there's 3 things we do that I look for. I make the decision and go, and
Yeah.
I'm able to just play.
Yeah, a lot of it's
Great. So
yeah, a lot of it's how many guys are in the box. Okay, we got more blockers and they got more defenders. We're running the ball. Like it's not that hard now. Teams have started using this 3-3-5 nickel and kind of giving us trouble. So I'm hoping to see Heupel combat that this year because that happened a lot last year.
Well, you're going to see a lot more. You're going to see a lot more 12 personnel than you've
yeah,
ever seen.
yeah,
before.
2 tight ends. They're going to have
Yeah.
to because.
Well, is it fair for me to say that once people get tape and they get in that nickel and they're able to slow down a little bit? I mean, and he has to figure out how he can continue to get more yards at a pace that he used to get.
Yeah.
With that nickel in there, so I don't know.
I think he's figuring that out, but also Daniel said something earlier. I think he's realizing when he was at Missouri, he was very much like, I need to score more because my defense isn't going to help me out. And I think he's realizing here, like Rodney Garner is killing it at recruiting the front 4, and then our linebackers are solid. I don't know if I'd probably put them in the top half of the SEC right now. DBs, we'll see. I think the defense, I mean, you lose James Pierce. That dude was a stud, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think he only had like 6.5 or 7.5 sacks. I think that Joshua Joseph can replace that.
There's that.
Oh, is he getting double teamed though?
Yeah, he was getting a lot of tight end chips and double teams. So.
But
that's what happened to Clowney when in 2013, his last year at South Carolina. Plus, I think he got lazy. But
he got tired of, and he mentioned this in an interview when after practice. I can't remember, but I was at when he talked with folks, and he said, as soon as I come off the line, I'm getting chipped by one guy and pushed one way by another every time. And he goes, and if I break past those 2, other guy standing there waiting on me.
Yeah.
I mean, and that happened to him a lot. So,
he still gave other ones opportunities to take care of it. I mean,
right. Well,
in theory, that was the best South Carolina team there was. If you're talking about the way they ended up being ranked, it was number 4, I think.
There were other guys like Kelsey Quarles, who was a big guy.
Yeah.
He had the numbers because Clowney was on that other side wreaking havoc.
Devin Taylor, I think.
Taylor was there too. Devin Taylor is that guy. You want him first coming off the block. He looks like he would destroy somebody. That was a big son of a bitch. So, but anyway, I don't know.
But no, I think our D-line is getting back to where it was when, and Rob will remember this, know this name, Dan Brooks. When Dan Brooks was at Tennessee, those D-lines, I mean, y'all have heard me before. Lane Kiffin kicking Taj Boyd out of the class and letting Dan Brooks go to Clemson. Probably the biggest what if in my college football fandom, because I think if you keep Dan Brooks and if you keep Taj Boyd in the class, who knows where Clemson's at.
Well, but here's the other thing too. Like Taj Boyd had a knee, like blew out his knee his senior year.
Yeah.
So that had a little bit to do with it. I mean, I could see, hey, I'm a coach. I've got a scholarship. Dabo Swinney.
If the thing was Tennessee had Bryce Petty and Taj Boyd both in that signing class, and if Lane Kiffin cut them, if Lane Kiffin ended up cutting both of them, and had he cut them and then signed some other 4-star that just ended up busting out, I would be like, okay, man, you rolled your dice and you came up craps. It didn't work out for you. Okay, I can respect that. But the man cut those 2 quarterbacks loose and signed Casper the Ghost. He signed no one at the quarterback position that year.
Yeah.
And then he let Dan Brooks go to Clemson. And you know the run of D lineman you went on when he got there. He let Dan Brooks go to bring in Ed friggin' Ogeron.
Oh, you want it with somebody else. Sorry.
Kentucky Football says you're going to see a lot more fake injuries from Ole Miss. He's going to have to find a way to circumnavigate his way around these new rules. But I'm sure he will.
we'll have to see on that.
Well, the only time it happens, the only time that rule gets enforced is if the ball is set. So as long as they hit the ground and start faking the injury before the ball is set, then they can still fake injuries and get their timeout.
Yeah, I got to read Fireball's comment. Trevor Lawrence was a Tennessee fan growing up. Fuck you, bitch, Jones. Yeah, 16 he wears is for Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
So
Also
Tennessee
T.
was
Higgins.
terrible when he was coming up through. So
Yeah, we were,
that was
unfortunately.
pretty bad. I mean, that was like, what was he? When did he sign? When did he commit with Clemson? Like 2016, 2017?
Tennessee was doing pretty solid. They weren't good. They were good, not great when he committed, but Clemson was on another level.
I remember I think he committed in 2017.
I'm pretty sure he committed like during Josh Dobbs' time there.
He was a class of 2018.
Yeah, that'd have been Dobbs. Dobbs last year was 2016. So yeah, we were just probably coming off
he committed it before his junior year in high school. He must have.
Yeah, he committed pretty early. Him and T. Higgins was in the same class. We had T. Higgins.
I remember when he committed. I was on the way to North Carolina to buy some scratch-off tickets. It's funny the way you remember shit like that, but sure did.
Damn, y'all still. I remember when Arch Manning committed to Texas, and all the Georgia fans were mad. I was sitting in a barbecue joint in Kansas City.
I remember when Clemson fans thought he was coming here. Ha!
Well, you know, the one recruit that I was half hot about was Rashawn Gary.
Oh yeah, that's the one y'all baked the cake for.
Yeah, well, I didn't bake anything, but it was.
Excuse me.
But no, like we were gonna have Rashawn Gary and mix him in with all those defensive linemen we had.
Yeah, that'd have been nuts.
Michigan. Fuck. God damn it.
A bigger bag.
What a mess.
That was when that was the first big recruit that Jim Harbaugh really got, and you're like, oh, okay, now they're trying to play with the big boys, and people didn't think it would work, and it did.
Well, I also remember, and there were Clemson fans that there was a lot of talk on Twitter, a lot of racial shit thrown at his parents too. When he went somewhere else, there were a lot of people with tiger paws as pictures. Profile pictures on Twitter running their mouths. And
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, your shit jackpot, because I've got shit with South Carolina that it's not even it's a country thing, not just a Clemson thing. So stop it. But yeah, they showed their ass that day. It was fucking
the
sick.
Ignorance thing.
I love how everything turns into a jackpot versus Rob, Clemson versus South Carolina.
Like, look, I mean, jackpot in his heart of hearts is a Clemson.
What did they do? So what? They called him the N-word because he went to Michigan?
Yeah, it was a lot of racial stuff.
So did they call the kid an N-word that did come to Clemson? I mean,
no, it was. I think they were lighting up.
Because that's not too hospitable. It's not a good welcoming strategy.
I know Michigan always gets like this reputation, and maybe they are. I've never like went out looking for a lawyer or a doctor and seen a Michigan diploma on the wall and been like, oh crap, they went to Michigan. Now I've seen some Princeton and some Harvards, but never a Michigan. I don't know why. We had a kid, Junior Colson. He ended up going to Michigan over Tennessee. He was from Tennessee, and it was like, well, it's the education aspect, and it's like, can we stop pretending like Michigan is Harvard, please? Like,
looking at, he was the number one overall recruit in the country, a perfect 1.0 on the as far as his rankings and all that. But if you look at
I found it strange. You know, the president up there just all of a sudden decides to take the job at Florida.
oh, because they're about to get hammered, bro. I think they're about to get hammered. I think they'll sue their way out of it.
He's been there for a year and just turns around and, I'm going to Florida. Yeah, because he doesn't want to deal with all that.
But see, Florida's another one. Florida's another one. They act like it's Princeton, and I'm like, bro, Aaron Hernandez graduated from Florida. Let's chill out on acting like y'all. I mean, Joe Milton has a degree from Michigan. Let's not act like the football players there are doctors and lawyers.
So if
Does he really?
Yeah, he was a grad transfer. He graduated from Michigan in 3 years.
Okay.
Anyway, if he would have went to,
He was at Tennessee for 2. Was he there?
He was at Tennessee for 3 years. He was a 6-year player.
I know he was there in 22 with Hooker.
Yeah, he was. He got there. He was there in 21. Got hurt in the Pitt game. Then Hooker took over, and it was the Hooker show for a year and 10 games. And then his year was 2023, but he had 3 years at Michigan too. He redshirted his freshman year at Michigan, and then didn't play his redshirt freshman year, and then started the COVID year, which ended up not counting, but threw 6 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. So that was the end of his story at Michigan, and he came to Tennessee and was there for 3 years. So he was a 6-year player.
in that class, if
He started at Tennessee during the COVID year.
No, he started at Michigan. Michigan was his own, or COVID was his only year starting at Michigan.
We lost to Tennessee in the first game of the COVID year, 31-20. Who was the quarterback?
That was a special teams
That would have
game,
been
man. I don't know how y'all.
Garantano.
Will Muschamp's the only reason y'all lost that game because he don't know what special teams are, because that's the only way we won that game. That was, I think it was Marquez Callaway or somebody ran a punt back.
Yeah, that would have been Jarrett Garantano at quarterback.
I forgot. That was when we had true freshmen when Cam Smith was a true freshman. He had him back there in his first game fielding a punt. And he fumbled it. We already know about those true freshmen fielding punts. It's not a great idea.
No, usually not.
Or it might have been Bryce Thompson, I think, might have returned a punt. I don't think it was Marquez. I think it was Bryce, and the hatred he had towards South Carolina, so he was trying real hard.
Jackpot will appreciate this. If we would have gotten Gary in that class, we would have had Gary and Dexter Lawrence in the same class. The same fucking class.
Well, damn, you won a damn national championship. What else do you fucking want?
We would have had fucking 4 with those two. I'm mad about it. Fuck him. Fuck.
Yeah, that was the first year. That was Beamer's first year, wasn't it? When y'all had when you had the grad assistant playing quarterback for you?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a bad year for y'all.
Well, they went to a bowl game, though.
Yeah, fair. That made me hot, too, when everybody talks about, Tennessee and South Carolina's little rivalry. You talk about wearing somebody for a hat. Damn, Tennessee beat the dog shit out of South Carolina, and then they both had the same record, and they're like,
that was a terrible fucking.
Here's the first year head coach award. Split it, and it's like, what? Like, if only we had played each other to figure out who is the tiebreaker.
That was fucking terrible. That was one they had. What was that? Rob, did they have Jordan Burks? He tried to throw a pass, or he tried to throw a pass to him?
No, he tried to throw a pass.
Yeah.
I was actually in that end zone.
Good God.
Stupid as fuck. Next to the Clemson flower of power play, where we tried to think that we're fucking going to be a special teams.
And if I'm not mistaken, if we'd scored down there, we were either going to pull even or be only behind by 7.
Yeah, that was like early in the game.
Momentum back.
Yeah, that completely flipped the momentum when that happened.
Yeah, fucking stupid.
Yeah, y'all had wasn't Doty the quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah, Luke Doty was the quarterback.
Yeah. No, well, I'm not sure. He got hurt early. He got hurt right like the first day of fall camp. Somebody stepped on his foot. And either broke it or sprained it real bad. And I know he missed some game time, and that's when Zeb Nolan started.
I think he played in that game, but he was very immobile.
Who was your quarterback in 2020? Was it Helinski? Was he still there?
No, it was the guy from Colorado State, Colin Hill.
Is that the one that old Bobo brought with him?
Yeah, I don't remember. He was pretty forgettable. I don't remember.
All right, let me. I got to go on, but I appreciate y'all coming in tonight. Thank you so much.
Thanks for taking our call, man.
Appreciate it, man. See y'all.
Thanks.
Good night. Let's bring in our good friend Peckerhead here as we roll along here, Rob, and he'll show the And Peckerhead joins the program. What's up, buddy?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are y'all doing today?
Man, better than my deserve.
Man, enough with that Tennessee talk. I mean, who do they think they are just coming in here talking
It was
about
tonight. We're
Garantano?
gonna call it a TT.
Who wants to hear about Garantano? All right, come on. But in all seriousness,
Did Garantano make Jackpot cuss a good bit in his
fuck Garantano, dude. Fuck Garantano. I think we beat him once. I think we won
twice.
We beat him twice. Not when it mattered, though.
We beat him in 2017 and 2018. He beat us in 2019 and the COVID year.
It's COVID year.
Well, I wanted to come on and, I'm getting more optimistic as we go. I think we're, 13 Saturdays away from college football?
Sure.
If my math is correct. And I'm counting down, man. I'm so ready for this week 1 game. I haven't really gone through the Virginia Tech roster yet. I don't know if either of y'all have. I'm pretty sure they retained Kyron Drones.
Yeah.
But
they've got experience coming back at quarterback. And God, if I remember right, I think their running back is coming back too.
No, he went to the NFL. But something Tootin was his last name.
Yeah, Tootin. Yeah, that running back. Yeah,
no, he got drafted.
Yep. So they have a new running back. And if I remember correct, wasn't that Tootin the only spark on their offense last year? Like the only guy that was worth a shit.
Yeah, they kind of sucked. They lost some pieces of the portal, I know. They got a new offensive coordinator who came from Philip Montgomery is his name. He was the head coach at one point at Tulsa. So
at Tulsa?
Tulsa. We're living on Tulsa. He's living on Blacksburg time.
Well, I was looking up the line is at
Gamecock. I don't think anybody got what I was just saying.
No, I didn't. I'm gonna be.
Now there used to be a country song. Well, it used to be. There is an old country song that goes, "Living on Tulsa time, living on Tulsa time. Gonna set my watch back to it, 'cause I've been through it. I'm living on Tulsa time." All right.
Oh yeah. I'm not mad at that. Hey, but what I was going to say
John Williams, that's right.
Just end the fucking show. How do we fucking rebound from that, Jackpot? Thanks for fucking us for the rest of the show. Now we can't. Nothing we say now is going to top that asshole.
He did just kind of shine his light over us.
It's called raising the bar, dickhead.
Yeah.
Hey, but so Carolina's an early 9.5-point favorite in that game. Obviously, subject to change.
I think it's too much.
You think it's too much?
Yep.
Well, I know
they don't play good. They don't play good in opening games.
No, we don't. I was about to say we got a little bit of the Brian Kelly syndrome.
It's a matchup of two different trajectories. I mean, South Carolina overachieved last year, and people are expecting all this shit from them this year. And Virginia Tech, woefully, they underachieved last year, had a terrible season relative to what their expectations were. I think this Drones is going to come out there looking to try to make some kind of statement. So they better have their head on a swivel. They better be ready to fucking play, not have their head in their damn ass. That's all I got to say. They're going to get beat.
Yeah. Actually, the line's gone down on BetMGM. Or no, this is the over-under for wins. They're at 6.5.
Right, but according to
total this year,
this article that I'm reading here,
they're in the ACC. Their schedule's dog shit.
They're going to run two different quarterbacks out there. Yes, they've got Drones, but they also have a quarterback called Pop Watson. In December, I'm just reading what's on this website here.
Pop Watson.
Both players would be returning for 2025. Watson took over against Duke in the next last game after backup Cullen Schlee was injured. Led Virginia Tech to be bowl eligible win over Virginia Thanksgiving weekend. After nearly leading the company against the Blue Devils a week later. Virginia Tech also picked up a portal addition recently with Oklahoma State transfer Garrett Rangel, who will push Watson in camp for the QB2 spot. So
I hope they play 2 quarterbacks.
That's why I'm out there. Maybe they'll run 2 quarterbacks.
That's what I'm saying. I hope they do. I am not scared at all of a team that plays 2 quarterbacks. That tells me you don't got one that's worth a shit.
Well, that's a fair statement, unless you're Steve Spurrier's coaching them, because Spurrier would fucking pull them in and out in a minute. He didn't give a fuck. I mean, the whole. I remember him pulling Rex Grossman out and putting some other. I can't remember who the other one was.
I remember the 1984 South Carolina Gamecocks, Fire Ants and Black Magic. Alan Mitchell was the starting quarterback. But every game, he would always get relieved by Mike Hold. Came in and performed some miracles.
Mike Hold.
I remember Mike Hold scoring running in the winning touchdown from 1 yard out up at Clemson in '84, and then he handed the ball to Refrigerator Perry.
Oh, that was him? Yep. I thought that was Tannehill.
No, Tannehill, that was 10 years later, dude.
Okay.
Tannehill was the one who did the air baseball bat.
Who was the one who just hit the?
That was Tannehill.
That's what I thought too.
Spencer Rattler did that too, didn't he?
Did he? I don't remember that.
He did something when we went up there.
I remember him smoking the cigars in the locker room. No respect for y'all's facilities. You know,
that's a no smoking facility.
It definitely is.
I thought the best one was those 2 clowns going out there and running down the fucking hill, and they damn videoed themselves doing it.
That was J.C. Horn and I forget who else. I think it was the DBs. Which I sent the. Well, go ahead, Rob.
The one time that a player like trolled Clemson that like really pissed me off was Jameis Winston, because Jameis Winston came in there and they Clemson was ranked in the top 10 and Florida State was ranked in the top 10 and they beat the fuck out of us 56-7. I mean,
I remember that. Yeah, that was the same weekend. It was the same day that we lost to Tennessee back in 2013. I was actually in a hotel room up in Pigeon Forge because I went on a little trip for the weekend with the wife. It was before we got married, and my son and her daughter. It was the first time we ever went anywhere together like that. So that kind of soothed a little bit of the wounds from the loss earlier that day.
Well, Rob, you were mad. I remember.
Let me finish what he did. He came back for baseball season and was the closer for Florida State. Came back, took a picture of the stadium, was like, we fucking own that shit. Put that on there. Then went out that night and fucking went 3 up, 3 down on 12 pitches for strikeouts to close us out in baseball. So he drug his nuts on us, Juice Wells style, right up there in our own fucking building.
Well, you were pissed when the UCF baseball team decided to drag their nuts down the hill.
Yeah, they should have done that. That was fucking stupid. Shouldn't mock traditions in stadiums. I don't really like that at all. I don't like.
Remember when that white boy tied in that was like Jack Nicklaus's nephew caught that touchdown pass for like an 85-yard touchdown pass against you guys in that game? Nick O'Leary, he died, didn't he die?
Oh, did y'all see the Colts?
He died in a motorcycle accident, I thought.
No, that's sad.
Y'all see Jim Irsay just died today?
Yeah.
65. He wasn't even that old.
Well, I mean, he did a lot of drugs.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
He was coked out, from what I read on
something. A couple years off, yeah.
Screw those guys. They went and moved Baltimore's team out in the middle of the night. You ever watched 30 for 30 on that?
I didn't know he was the owner at that point.
Yeah, him and his dad. They packed up the team in Mayflower moving trucks and at like midnight, and between midnight and 6 in the morning, they took it out of Baltimore and headed to Indianapolis. And the next day, people come to work and the facility and
you couldn't get in.
A fucking football team here.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
I watched some dudes doing I like to watch some guys do urban exploration and stuff like that sometimes.
Yeah.
And I was watching one here a while back. It's on YouTube of these dudes touring the San Diego Chargers facilities, like their office building and old practice facility. So it's because they've been moved out since 2017. I didn't know that they've been gone from San Diego that long.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the Rams, the Raiders, shoot, they moved to Vegas in what, 2020, 2021, something like that? They've been
Something
gone
like
a little
that,
minute.
yeah.
I always forget they're in Vegas. That stadium. Have y'all actually taken a look at any of the videos of like the fly-throughs of that Vegas stadium? It is fucking magnificent, dude.
It's off the chain, isn't it?
I'm telling you what, it is. It is crazy what they're doing now, and it all to just justify $300 nosebleeds.
Dude, do you know? I was looking at I heard old Zach Smith on his Minister Sports podcast talking about it. They're building a high school stadium in Texas somewhere. It's going to cost like $80 million. And then I saw on Facebook yesterday where Buford High School in Georgia, down there near Atlanta, that's a big high school for. They produce a lot of recruits out of Buford. $66 million they're dropping on a new football stadium.
Well, you wanna hear something that'll make you.
That's Buford University. I mean, what?
Well, listen to this. Rob will tell you. River Bluff. All right. Do you know River Bluff, Cal?
I've heard of the school.
So it's they basically split Lexington into two, right? And built a brand new high school. You want to hear how much it cost them to build their football facilities? In 2008, mind you. $140 million.
In
$140 million. They got a jumbotron.
In 2008?
In 2008.
Are you sure that wasn't the whole school and everything?
No, it was just the facilities. The athletic.
It could,
There's no way.
I trusted the AI. You'd never trust the AI, bro.
That sounds a little bit far-fetched.
That is the school.
That's a
lot. I remember it coming out. It was
2000.
something absurd. Let me try and find the real number. Because I heard it when I was back in school, and for what they got, it was.
That seems like an awfully high number for a whole school, and that seems.
Here it is. Okay, it was 56 million.
And that was for the school and everything.
And that was for the football facilities, 56 million. The school was a total of 150 million.
Have you been to their football facility? Is it all that?
Well, they got a jumbotron. A nice. They basically got press boxes. They've got a.
I've never heard. I've heard of them, but they're not worth a fuck.
I will tell you, they're not. They got a nice stadium.
I went to Lexington High School, and then Lexington branched off, and they had White Knoll, and then the third high school that they built there was River Bluff, and their weight room is. It looks like a damn college campus. It is fucking stupid.
Yeah, they got live replays during games.
For
basketball is stupid.
Everybody used to make a real big deal out of Dorman Stadium up here in the upstate, but
that
was built back in like 2000. They were like one of the first ones to have like a almost college-like stadium.
Yeah, it's crazy what they're doing, and Lexington, to their own right, they got nice facilities too, but just for the cost, you're not getting what they're getting out in Texas. That stadium you mentioned is probably a double-decker.
Probably.
Yeah,
they looked at like artist renderings of it. I was listening to a YouTube show, but they were like that. It's way nicer than any stadium in the MAC.
That is insane.
That's
nice.
That is nuts.
Where does the money come from?
Eventually, they're going to start getting paid NIL. You'll have people who don't. You'll have fuckers who don't want to leave them.
Well, shit. That's what.
I don't want to go to college. Fuck that. I'm making more money here in high school.
Well, that's what charter schools have been getting away with. They give them a fucking $30,000-$40,000 scholarship, all expense paid, room and board. Why do you think IMG has nothing but 5 stars who come from all over the country?
Well, if you look at Jordan Birch, there's a perfect example. The Hammond School
All those
Hammond.
charter schools, all that shit seems real shady to me.
He was from Sumter and lived in shit in Sumter, and then came to this charter school and was driving a car that was almost worth as much as my house.
And I made a video about this some time back. All these kids graduating early now, I'm not convinced that they really have all the credentials to do that. It's not. I mean, because I made decent grades in high school, and there was no way that I could graduate early. I don't think that these kids, as much as they have to put into football, that they're also doubling down on academics too. I don't believe it.
Yeah, I'll kind of follow with you.
Handouts. I think there's corruption in the system in a lot of these places. There has to be.
Well, of course there's corruption. Listen, the coaches don't even teach their here's a perfect example. So the coaches, they're not even teaching these guys simple things. Caleb Williams came in, and there was a video that came out recently, and he said he didn't even know how to watch film going into the Bears. He said they just threw him into a room and told him to watch film, and he didn't know what to do. So you mean to tell me Lincoln Riley, with 3 to 4 years at college, couldn't teach this man how to break down film? Let alone his high school coach, let alone his JV coach.
Why don't we just go on the adage that he's just fucking stupid? How about that? Can we
Who? Caleb Williams?
Caleb Williams, yeah. Maybe he's just.
Well, this is the same man that wrote "fuck Utah" on his fingernails and played in the game against Utah with it on there. So.
Well, you had a funny one-liner. You said what? Should have put "fuck me" with 2 exclamation points or something.
But yeah, I'm fucked. I mean,
he's a weird guy. He's a really weird guy. Probably gonna fail him out.
I was telling my mom about that last year. It was Thanksgiving. It was last year at Thanksgiving because he played for the Bears and they were all playing the Lions. I think they were playing the Lions. I'm not sure. On Thanksgiving Day. And maybe it was the Giants. It doesn't matter. Anyway, more of a story. I said, hey, I was like, that cat right there, I'm like, his senior year, I told her, I said, he painted "fuck Utah" on his fingernails, one letter on one fingernail all the way across. I said, and then he went out and lost. And she's like, so he painted that on himself and then he lost to him? I'm like, yeah. She's like, good Lord. She said, well, he deserved it.
Yeah, it's inexcusable.
Wore your ass out for that if you did that in high school. Can you imagine if you would have painted what was your rival in high school, Jackpot? JL Man? Who?
East Side.
Yeah, fuck East Side on your fingernails. Your mama would have wore your ass out.
I mean, we would have never thought of doing any of this shit. I mean, you just wouldn't. But that would have never crossed our mind.
You know, here's something I saw on Rob. I don't know if you've seen the same thing. I've seen a couple articles saying that this could be Dabo's last year, especially if he wins out. Now, I would be very unhappy for Clemson to win a national championship, but do you think that if y'all do, let's just say in a hypothetical world, Clemson wins a natty, Dabo retires, where does Clemson go from there?
I don't think Dabo is going to retire, but if we're going to go with that, hey, he is going to go. I mean, you would have to think
he ain't going to go. He's still relatively young. I mean,
I've seen a couple articles talking about.
What is he, like 55 or something? He's not that old.
He's not old.
It seems like he should be because he's been around forever. But
how old is he? You know, Rob, off the top of your head?
He's probably like 55, 56.
Well, how old was Saban when he retired?
80?
Saban's 70.
Holy shit. Saban's 70? He don't look like it.
He's in his 70s, yeah.
Yeah, Dabo's 55.
Oh.
So I don't know why I'm seeing. I saw a couple articles talking about it.
Shane Beamer's a lot older than people think. Like, well, he's such a young coach. He's not. He's like a year younger than I am.
Yeah, he's 48.
Yeah, like so he's on up there. He was an assistant for a long time.
Yeah, just waiting for his chance. I think Shane Beamer. The reason people probably think he's younger is because he's a new head coach, and I mean that's the only thing I could think of. And he's not a bigger guy, you know. So that's probably what it boils down to. Although Brett Bielema was shitting his pants at the 50-yard line. Let's just be honest.
It's that or his penchant for sometimes acting childish in public.
That's a fair point too. We like to say emotional, motivational. You know?
Well, it's with me, I look at things like I don't always put him in the right perspective. When he cries after a press conference when we're winning, I'm like, man, it takes a lot out of him. I know how an emotional game it is, so I can understand him letting it go. But when we're losing, I'm like, my God, you're leading grown men and you're up here fucking crying. What are you doing?
The thing is, though, the players love the guy, Kale.
I was so fucking mad when we lost that game at Mizzou 2 years ago. 2023, 34-12. 34-12. And then he's giving a damn press conference after the thing. He's like, it's kind of noisy in here. I mean, they're working on this place. Hopefully it'll be a little nicer next time we come. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, you're out here insulting their shitters? And they just drug nuts on you? What the fuck are you doing, man?
Listen, I don't mind it. He got hired because, let's just be honest, the 2010s players, who a lot of them he probably played hand in hand in recruiting. I know Alshon did. The 2010s players swore by him, swore he would, they loved him. They swore he'd be a good coach, and it's worked out so far. I mean, since he's been here, I guess outside of Lloyd, which, I think he left early, and Juice Wells, we haven't lost too many big people.
Jaheim Bell,
yeah, well, that's a fair point, too.
Jordan Birch,
he's a must-champ guy. I think he was going to leave anyway.
To be honest with you, I don't think losing any of them really significantly impacted the next season one way or the other.
Yeah, I'm talking about like a Sellers or a Dylan Stewart leaving.
Oh, God, yeah.
We're not losing people like that, which a lot of other teams are. So,
well, if you listen to Sports Talk Jabroni this past offseason, Sellers, it was all but sewn up. He's going to Auburn for $5 million. Right.
But that's what I mean. We're not losing our key players.
Oh, I got that old money. That old money. Yeah. He always talks about that in his videos. So such teammate. Oh, he got that old money.
Yeah, but to wrap it up,
he said out in Oklahoma, they got them oil things going up and down in Oklahoma. They got that old one.
All right, guys, I've got to get going, man. I am tired.
Yep. West Virginia's got that coal money.
Are we? Right. Yeah, we are still paying Muschamp, Kentucky Blue Bills. Hey, but it's only $250K. I think we're the lowest, and did y'all see that? There's a poll of how much people are paying buyout clauses right now, and I think South Carolina is second to last. But obviously Texas A&M, they're paying like $25 million a year.
Is that all sports or just football?
I believe it was all sports.
Well, I'm sure Texas A&M's the highest. I mean, old Jimbo was his buyout was like $70 million, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
insane like that.
So it's football. I got it right here. It's who spent the most on severance. It was Texas A&M at like $25.5 million. They paid old Jimbo last year.
Georgia should be at zero.
Yep, Georgia. Actually, no, Georgia's not
should be at zero because they fired Pruitt. They wouldn't be giving him no money.
So Georgia Georgia spent $195,000.
That must be for assistants or something.
The only ones that are at zero are Alabama, Tennessee, and I was wrong. South Carolina's at zero, and Missouri. And then you got Texas A&M at like $25.5 million. Auburn, I guess they're still paying.
I guess we haven't lost anybody, and then I guess like Satterfield, when he left, his contract had run out.
Yeah.
Justin Stepp left. I don't know. Maybe his contract was up too. I don't know. Or they paid it last year or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We gotta go
But I know
back.
Rob's about to go to sleep. Let me hit y'all with Go Gamecocks. All
Go
right.
Gamecocks.
Shane Beamer, keep doing what you're doing, baby. I'm not mad at it.
Not mad at it.
All right, Jackpot. It's been a good show, buddy. I'll talk to you guys later on.
All right. We'll see you later.